If I look tired, it's because I am. I literally came home from 2 weeks of workshops in Tuscany yesterday evening, and now it's morning and I'm heading out to get a photograph that I've been waiting for to manifest for 5 years. So I'm super excited. So out of the frying pan and into the fire, as they say. While we make the long drive from Copenhagen to Jutland, let me just remind you that my brand new course, Mastering Rural Landscape Photography, is finally out, and the 25% off intro discount ends in a few days. There's a coupon code and a link in the description of the video. Alright, time for coffee. So where other YouTubers, they make their own coffee in a van somewhere in the desert, I go to a gas station, get an extra large, that's it. Woo! 300 kilometers driving. Finally here. As you may very well have noticed, it's very rainy today. And this is technically not my dream shot, because I want this shot with a blue sky and hopefully a puffy white cloud. But I'm not saying no to these super dramatic skies. And out of nowhere came light. Wow, wow, wow. We have these super dramatic clouds and just the rain coming down still. Absolutely moody and stunning and gorgeous. So compositionally, right now I'm simply just covering my butt. I try central compositions, off-center compositions. I try with more foreground, I try with less foreground. I try verticals, I try horizontals. Simply just so I have something to choose from when I come back home. While the light is still out, and it's going away in just a moment. Wow, 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 wow. Now the downside to rapeseed fields here, as you can see, is that, or that you maybe cannot see, is that they're rather tall, and that means that the bottom part of the tree in one side is dipping down into the yellow part. And even though it's not detrimental for the photo to work or not, I would have preferred to have a little bit more separation, but I did foresee this, so I'm not super disappointed about it. It is what it is, but it still looks so good. And wow, the sun is coming out now, it's getting so warm. So right now I have a couple of smaller clouds also coming into the scene. Let's see if I can use those to my benefit. Nice and slow. And I can make a classic rule of thirds composition. Oh, please light, please hold up, please hold up. Settings wise, it's very simple. Aperture priority, f8, ISO 100. That right now gives me a shutter speed of 1/500th of a second. There's a little bit of anxiety in photographing something like this right here, because I've been dreaming about having yellow fields with this tree for 5 years. And now I'm getting it. I'm getting absolutely pummeled by rain. Ugh. I'm just moving a little bit further ahead so I can get a little bit more of a central composition here. Just have the tree right there along the center line. getting both a vertical and horizontal, while I have this incredible light. Moody background clouds, direct light down to the field and the tree. Like, what more can you ask for? Well, of course, blue skies and puffy clouds. I want that too. But this here is also, absolutely phenomenal. So the thing is that I actually already knew from this winter that there would be rapeseed on these fields, because when I was out here filming a sequence for my brand new course on rural landscape photography, I wanted to capture the sunrise behind the tree, which you can only do during winter. But I was wondering about what kind of vegetation was on the fields, because it was something that I did not recognize. It was a little bit like rough around the edges and not actually particularly aesthetic. I did come away with some really cool photos, even though, because the light was amazing. However, by taking the photos I captured this winter and putting them into an AI and asking what kind of vegetation it was, it came back and said, yep, that's rapeseed. So I have known since this winter that there would be rapeseed on the fields here. And I'm so happy to finally be able to photograph it. Now, I know it may actually seem like a little bit of a stamp collection, because I just absolutely love documenting and photographing this tree in all sorts of different environments. Everything from snow over wheat fields, during winter, during summer, during spring, at some point hopefully also during autumn, and now also with these rapeseed fields. And it's such a relief somehow, because I waited so long and crop rotation is a thing. So if I didn't get it this year, I may have had to wait another half decade before I could get this photo. But now it's here and I'm happy. Now I just need that blue sky and puffy clouds, and hopefully I can get that tomorrow. So before we see if I accomplish my photography goals, let me just take a minute of your time to tell you about my brand new course, Mastering Rural Landscape Photography. When I started out as a landscape photographer, I was very uninspired by the Danish countryside, but once I cracked the nut and figured out how to benefit from it, I've not just come to like photographing it, I've become obsessed, as you can clearly see. In this 7 hours and 21 videos course, we are going to explore what to photograph, how to photograph, when to photograph, and how to find interesting locations. And I of course cover composition, settings, and highly useful techniques throughout the course. I cover how to photograph rural landscapes in a whole host of different conditions throughout the year in 3 different countries. I also include 12 start to finish editing videos where I cover culling photos, basic editing, batch editing, masking, simple time blending, how I edit blue sky photos, moody photos, sunrise photos, HDR photos, complex focus stacking, and blending blue hour and sunset photos to make them pop. All this while respecting the light and avoiding the editing mistakes I repeatedly see online. I emphasize how to direct the viewer's attention through the photo, how to make your subjects stand out, how to balance the tones of the photo, and much more. If you struggle with finding inspiration in rural landscapes, this course is for you. Right now you can get entire 25% off, but the introductory discount code only lasts through the weekend, so do not hesitate too long. There is a link down in the description of the video, and of course a massive thank you to all of you who've already got it. So it's the next morning and I decided to show up early. It seems I will be able to get somewhat of a blue sky here at 8, 9. Only problem is it's still 7, and that's because my inner clock haven't reset since I came home from Tuscany. But yeah, I may set up a time lapse so you guys can see how the clouds move, and then I'll just wait it out until they're gone, hopefully. Alright, so 1.5 hours has passed by. I've been out a few times taking some photos, but it's about now where the blue sky is coming out. Oh well, the clouds are moving away. I put on the polarizing filter because the sun isn't perfectly 90 degrees to the scene, but it does make a difference. And with these small puffy clouds, the polarizing filter really makes them stand out in the sky. As you can also see, I have shadow here in the foreground because the sun haven't come around these trees. So I will have a shadowy foreground, but it is what it is. At least I will have the shadowy foreground from this angle here. I can actually just walk a little bit around and then I will not have a shadowy foreground. It's just that if I want the tree clean from the background trees, then this angle here is the best. There's so many lines in this particular shot. So we have the line of the low clouds, and then we have the line of the light behind the tree, and then there's a line of still light but not direct light, shadowy light, and then we have the shadow here in the foreground. It's actually not too bad. It gives a lot of depth to the scene, and here comes more light. There are some high clouds or medium clouds behind the tree that I'm also waiting for going away. Luckily for me, so far, it seems that the lower clouds keep coming into the scene. So it is simply just a question about waiting until I get some proper light, some small clouds, and the medium clouds are going away. But it does require a little bit of patience. That said, I already do have some photos that I'm really happy with. I can't really decide whether I like to have this shadow here in the bottom, or I just want it super clean and just have light on the rapeseed fields. I can go down, as you can see here, and include some of the shadow, and I can also now raise the camera up, and you can see how I extend the midground by moving the camera up, and in that way I can decide whether or not to have that foreground in there. But I also kind of want some bigger flowers in front and not just it starting out with smaller flowers. So decisions. So I am just flying around right now photographing as these low clouds are moving into the scene, just trying verticals, horizontals, and just changing the polarizing filter all the time, and it just looks exactly as I dreamed about and as I wanted. Yellow rapeseed field, my favorite lone tree, blue sky, puffy cloud, and then I get that fantastic color contrast between the yellows and the blues with a little bit of the help from the polarizing filter. One of the reasons why I also really love this is that for me, having grown up in this area, there's a lot of nostalgia to it, but I also just find that these fields are just like so essentially Danish. When I was flying back home from Tuscany the other day, I filmed out of the window with the phone and you can see how these rapeseed fields are like yellow dots in the countryside. Yeah, I like this very much. I know it's funny that I can like go so crazy about like, you know, agriculture and a blue sky, but I've just really come to love this kind of photography. Rural landscape photography. It's so simple, it's so minimal, it's so nostalgic for me. And you have to admit, it does look aesthetic. I actually ended up visiting this location 4 times over the days I was in Jutland. Another afternoon with moody clouds and a final afternoon with white puffy clouds, because I just had to squeeze everything I could out of finally getting the yellow fields at this location. Let me know down in the comments which one of the photos you like the best, 1 to 6, or maybe it's one of the others I showed in the video. Be sure to benefit from the 25% off intro discount if you want to get my Mastering Rural Landscape Photography course. There are links to everything down in the description of the video, and check out the video on the screen if you want to learn how to take minimalist photos.